Optus, on the other hand, the big competitor here to Telstra when it comes to this whole area of internet TV, IPTV, is concerned that the undertakings don't go far enough and that this will lead to Telstra having an unbreakable monopoly over regional and metropolitan services. Joining me now is the CEO of Foxtel, Richard Freudenstein. Richard, thanks for your time. I want to get to that issue of internet TV in a moment, but firstly on the merger itself. Now, Foxtel's subscriber base has plateaued a bit in recent years. We haven't seen the sort of growth that we saw in earlier years. Is today's decision and this acquisition of Austar going to make much of a difference?
I think it's a very exciting time, David. Our subscriber growth has been very strong for a number of years, and it has slowed down a little bit in the last few years, mainly due, I think, to economic circumstances, and I expect as the economy comes back that it will continue to grow very rapidly. But I think it's a really exciting opportunity to create a national brand, to have the Foxtel brand, the Foxtel service available throughout the country. It was a natural deal to happen. We'd operated in the cities, Austar operated in the country. It was a natural thing to build a bigger company so that we can continue to invest and innovate, create great programs, great new channels for our customers.
Well, it may have been a natural step from your perspective, but it did take a painstakingly long time to win ACCC approval for this. Now, in winning that, you've agreed to give up any sort of exclusive internet rights to more than 60 channels. So your competitors will also be able to offer online delivery of channels, in theory, channels, more than 60 of them, like ENPS, Nickelodeon, Sky News as well. Is this a major concession from your part?
I think the important thing from our perspective is that many of our key channels are still exclusive to us. Fox Sports being a very important part of that, but also a lot of our wholly owned channels, whether they be Fox 8 or the channels that we now currently own jointly with Austar through the XYZ group, the lifestyle channels, music channels, things like that. They can all still be exclusive to Foxtel. So yes, we've made some concessions, and some channels that were exclusive on internet now won't be. But we still have many channels that are exclusive. And I think for us, it's very important. Our big challenge is not necessarily about IPTV, which will come in the future. It's about continuing to build our service to compete with free-to-air television, which still has a large audience. And we think if we continue to build great service, we'll move people across from free-to-air to subscription.
Well, how big then do you see the growth of IPTV, of internet TV being? I mean, you say there that it's not the big challenge right now, but it is going to be, isn't it, over time?
I think it's a challenge and an opportunity. For us, it's a real opportunity because a lot of our boxes now, our satellite and cable boxes, have an internet connection. So you continue to receive all the great linear channels over the satellite or cable service, but you're able to access thousands of on-demand movies and TV shows through the internet connection into our existing boxes, and that's a great opportunity for us. We'll also build out our own IPTV services, and we've been sort of the leader in the country in that regard as well. We've got an IPTV service on Xbox and on T-Box for some Telstra customers. So we're very conscious of consumer behaviour changing, and more people will want to consume their TV that way, and we're going to be part of that.
And it's that offering through Telstra that many see as the big future player here, that it can bundle together phone, internet and T-Box Foxtel services in one package, and now we'll be able to do so in regional and metropolitan areas on a similar basis. This is what Optus is most worried about, that they won't be able to compete for those premium services that you mentioned there, like Fox Sports, that you haven't had to give any undertakings about today. Does Optus have grounds here to be worried?
I think Optus have a long history of complaining about things in this market. Optus currently have access to a range of Foxtel channels, including the Fox Sports channels. They have the ability to bundle those channels today, as they've had ever since 2002 as part of a deal we negotiated back then. They haven't exploited it particularly well. So I think they need to think about how they want to sell their service and how they want to talk to customers. But we're very focused on delivering our service and continue to build our business. And some people will want to do that through a bundled service. Some people are happy just to take the TV service direct.
You mentioned the challenge here and now is about trying to attract customers from free-to-air to subscription. That is where the big threat is at the moment, isn't it? It's the multi-channel offerings from free-to-air and what's happening in particular to sports rights and the ability to put them on these free-to-air multi-channels as well.
Yeah, it's a very competitive market, and it always has been, and that's a point we made continuously to the ACCC. The free-to-airs clearly have a big advantage in this market through what's called the anti-siphoning laws, which say that certain sporting events have to be on free-to-air television, and there's been a long debate going back and forth with the government about what should be on that list and what shouldn't be, and we unfortunately think that the list is way too long and does favour the free-to-air networks.
Well, there's a Senate inquiry underway into the government's proposed changes to the anti-siphoning list. You're appearing before a Senate hearing on Friday about this. One of the big concerns that's come from all sides is about giving the minister, the communications minister, the power to choose what matches, football games in any particular round should be on free or subscription TV. What is that going to mean in practice from your perspective?
Well, that's the big question. It's a very strange position to be in. We thought we'd reached agreement with the government in November 2010, and there was an announcement which said certain games would be taken off the list, and we thought that meant completely taken off the list. The current legislation seems to indicate that the minister will choose what games are on, what games are off, and I just think that leads to a degree of legislative uncertainty, which is not good government. Who knows what it means for us, what it means for the sporting body. It just could completely devalue sporting rights if no one has that level of certainty.
Richard Freudenstein, we'll have to leave it there, but thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Thanks, David.